There's a person you know right now. Maybe it's a coworker, someone you met at a party, maybe even someone you've had a crush on for years, and no matter what you do, they just don't think about you. But here's the uncomfortable truth nobody's saying out loud. Attraction has almost nothing to do with how you look. It's psychological, it's neurological, and it can be engineered. Today, I'm going to show you 10 dark psychology tricks rooted in real behavioral science that quietly make people obsessed with you. Not because you changed who you are, but because you finally understood how their brain works. Stay until number 1. That one alone will completely change how people see you.
These aren't pickup artist games. These are principles used by elite negotiators, cult leaders, therapists, and world-class salespeople, all of which tap into the same psychological architecture that governs human desire. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. Let's go. Always leave a little too early. Most people stay too long. They overstay conversations, overstay their welcome, and overstay their value. Here's what the science says. Humans remember the ending of an experience more than the middle. This is called the peak-end rule, discovered by Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman. So if you leave a conversation when it's still going well, right at the peak, you become associated with positive feelings every time. The move? When you feel the energy is high, say, "I have to run, but this has been genuinely great." They won't forget you. They'll think about what else you might have said. Trick 9. Controlled scarcity. Be available, but never fully. Robert Cialdini proved it decades ago. We want what we can't easily have. But this isn't about playing hard to get. It's about genuine investment in your own life. When you're the person who has things going on, who doesn't always respond instantly, who sometimes says, "I can't, I have plans," you trigger a scarcity response in the other person's brain. They start to think, "Why don't I have more of this person?" The move? Don't manufacture distance. Build a life that creates it naturally. Trick 8. The vulnerability drop. Say one real thing nobody else would say. Here's what most people get wrong. They think vulnerability means being weak or oversharing. It doesn't. Strategic vulnerability is dropping one authentic, slightly uncomfortable truth in a conversation. Honestly, I was nervous to say that. That failure messed me up for a year. I don't usually admit this, but what happens in the brain? Oxytocin spikes. Trust forms instantly. The other person feels chosen, like you revealed something to them that you don't show everyone. And people become obsessed with those who make them feel trusted. Trick 7. Mirroring 2.0. Don't copy them, reflect them. You've heard of mirroring, matching someone's body language, but amateur mirroring is creepy when it's obvious. The advanced version, mirror their values and language, not their posture. If they say, "I just want people to be real," later say, "I've always respected realness in people." You're not agreeing with everything. You're demonstrating that you see how they see the world. FBI hostage negotiators use this. It creates a feeling of, "This person gets me on a level others don't." That feeling? That's the seed of obsession. Trick 6. The unfinished loop. Never complete the story. The human brain hates open loops. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. We obsess over unfinished things far more than completed ones. In conversation, this looks like, "I'll tell you about that next time," or "There's actually a crazy story behind this, but it's long," or cutting a great conversation short on purpose. You're essentially installing a mental tab in their brain that doesn't close. They will think about you later. Not because you're perfect, because you're unfinished. Trick 5. A cold read compliment. Compliment what nobody notices. Generic compliments don't land. "You're beautiful" barely registers in 2025. But this does. You have this thing where you make people feel like what they're saying matters. Not a lot of people have that. I noticed you remembered what I said 2 weeks ago. That's rare. You're not complimenting their appearance, you're complimenting their soul, the part they don't usually get seen. This activates a deep psychological need, the desire to be known, not just noticed. They will replay that moment in their head for days. Trick 4. Positive unpredictability. Be warm, but not always. Casinos don't pay out every time. That variable reward schedule is the most addictive pattern known to behavioral psychology. It's why slot machines are billion-dollar machines. Applied to human connection, if you're always warm, you become predictable. Predictable equals forgettable. But if you're mostly warm, with moments of being genuinely occupied, slightly hard to read, or playfully elusive, their brain enters a state of seeking. They start working for your attention without realizing it. Warning, this isn't about being cold or cruel. Never weaponize this. It's about being a full human, not a validation machine.
Trick number 3, the Pygmalion projection. See them as who they could be and say it. The Pygmalion effect says people rise to meet the expectations others have of them. Tell someone sincerely, you know, you're smarter than you give yourself credit for. Or, I've always thought you could do something most people can't. You're not flattering them. You're projecting a version of them that's better than who they think they are. The psychological response? They want to become that version. And they associate that elevated self-image with you. You become the person who believed in them. That bond is almost impossible to break.
Trick 2, the name anchor. Use their name, but only at peak moments. Studies show that hearing your own name activates the brain's reward circuitry. It's personal, primal, but if you overuse it, it becomes annoying. The strategy, save it for meaningful moments. When you're making a serious point, name, I genuinely mean this. When you're parting, it was really good to see you name. Used sparingly, it creates a moment of direct personal contact in their nervous system. They feel chosen, specifically chosen, not part of a crowd. Trick 1. Disappear at your peak. Become someone they have to figure out. The most obsessive feeling a human being can have toward another is the sense of incomplete understanding. Think about the people you've never forgotten. Odds are, you never fully figured them out. Most people try to be impressive by showing everything. All their accomplishments, all their emotions, all their opinions. The truly magnetic person does the opposite. They're warm, but mysterious. They share enough to make you want more. They have depths you sense, but can't quite reach. The move? Have a life that's richer than what you reveal. Read, build, create, fail, grow. Let that depth show without explaining it. People don't become obsessed with open books. They become obsessed with stories that haven't ended yet. Here's the truth. None of these tricks work if you're using them to manipulate someone into something they'd never choose, but used with integrity to actually show up better, to connect more deeply, to stop being invisible. They're some of the most powerful social tools you'll ever have. The goal was never to change who you are. It was to finally let people see who you are. If this hit different, drop a comment with the trick that surprised you most. And if you want a part 2, where I go deeper into the neuroscience behind attraction, subscribe and let me know. I'll see you in the next one.